So some fun things to share before we get into tasting the wines is that I have one heck of a very long history with Sandy and her wonderful husband, Chris Gasbarro.
I've known him since he was 10.
Yes, basically. I like to say that too. So we've had some amazing, amazing fun times. And one of the things I'm very appreciative of is the friendship that I have with both Chris and Sandy and their support of now supporting the taste and being a big partner for us and getting the taste to come out. So we're going to have this special visit once a month where Sandy's going to come in and give us some education, tell us about upcoming things, events we can be involved in. But we have so many stories that you'll hear us bringing up. I mean, literally, I've met winemakers from all over the world as a result of my friendship with the Gasbarros. We've had Robert Mondavi before he passed not so long ago.
And his delightful wife.
And this Marguerite, a wonderful woman. We've had Julia Child we did things with in the past. Mario Pacini for Pacini Wines in Italy. So we've had some extraordinary stories to put out there and some extraordinary events, relationships, tastings, some great things we've done. So we'll have a lot of history that you'll end up hearing about through all of this. With that, what did you bring me today?
You wanted wines for Easter.
Easter, I want people to know what to compare for Easter, not just the simple ordinary things, you know?
Well, and these are simple and ordinary, but this one's a little extraordinary. But I decided to bring some French wines for Easter.
French wines.
Some Beaujolais. And I'm going to give you a quick Beaujolais 101.
Please,
I am not talking about Beaujolais Nouveau.
Okay.
Beaujolais Nouveau came out in the 60s when they started releasing the wines right after the crush. It was really a celebration of the crush and the wines were aged. And we still have the Beaujolais Nouveau.
They do that little festival that they do and everything, right?
Yeah. This is not what these are. First I brought, they're both from Louis Jadot, which is a wonderful Burgundian producer that we enjoy tremendously. Always has good quality, consistent quality wines. But the Beaujolais Village, this is actually aged in oak. But why I did this wine for Easter, the ripe berries, it's very light, it's light tannic, and one of the great things about this Beaujolais Village is Easter, many of us do brunch for Easter.
Yeah, so I love brunch.
And you're serving through a variety of different foods. This wine you can start with your French charcuterie if you're doing pâté. You can move all the way through your Easter rice pie.
So it's easy to pair with many things.
Many things. You can pair it with ham, you can do it with...
I got to sip at that now.
Yeah, little egg. You're doing a quiche. Isn't that beautiful?
Absolutely delicious. The flavors just pop on you the second you take a taste of it.
Well, it's very light tannin. This bottle of wine is not meant to age.
No, it's not heavy. It's not
heavy. It's light. We're going to have a warm weekend, so we can lightly chill this wine.
Now, we've had that question before with red wines, like Pinot Noirs, that kind of thing. Is it bad to chill them?
No, it's actually good to chill them because when we say room temperature, we don't want 80-degree room temperature.
Right.
Room temperature should be, 50s, 60s. So I recommend putting the wines in the
refrigerator.
refrigerator.
A little chill for a little bit.
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes.
Brings it down, makes it more enjoyable. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that people are serving from going out from, like you said, the quiches, the pâtés, this type of stuff. This would even go well with a nice ham on Easter.
I was thinking it's a perfect wine. It's got enough sweetness that it's going to offset that saltiness of the ham. And I do have to plug that this is $10.99 at Chris Gasbarro's.
$10.99. So this is the other thing too, is about affordable wine. So it's a lot of stuff that's come up because everybody sees me drinking wine every show. I know is affordability. And last week I talked about some of the rosés that I picked up when I stopped in there, which were absolutely beautiful. And Kate got to partake in one because I owed her a bottle. I was in big trouble with Kate, so I was getting some cheers back there. But that's the thing that it comes down to, is that knowledge, so the education of learning about the wines, in addition to the cost thing. There's this big misconception, and I definitely want to clear this up each month if I can when you're here with me, is that you have to spend a fortune to enjoy good wine. Of course, there's wines out there that are very expensive, but $10.99 for a bottle of wine here?
$10.99. We try to get best value wines, not cheap wines, but wines that are tremendous best value.
And to me, that's an extraordinary value, because if you think about it, I go to a restaurant, I'm paying $10 to $12 just for a glass of wine. So
probably more for this.
Yeah, probably a lot more than that, because the markup that goes to the restaurants. So this is an absolutely perfect wine. Let's talk about the white one a little bit while I'm enjoying
the white, if you do have someone that wants a white wine, I brought a Burgundy, just so we stay with the theme. 100% Chardonnay, Macon Village, has some acidity, a little lemon note, some vanilla, light, crisp. You can do that if you're serving poultry dishes.
Excellent.
And salads. Good with cheeses, but actually this is very delightful with
cheeses. This is good for a summer wine as well.
That's great for a summer wine, and there's always someone that's going to want a white wine for a holiday dinner.
Oh yeah, and I'm not prejudiced. I drink both.
So. White Burgundies are my favorite for all holiday dinners.
So we had that one, and then we've got, this is one you said was a little bit special.
No, this one's a little special. So this is what we're serving at Chez Gasbarro, because I'm cooking a leg of lamb.
Oh, I was just going to say that.
So we're going to have this is where we're getting into the education. We're going to get into Beaujolais education.
Okay.
There are 10 cru or regions within Beaujolais. This is Blanc, which I would call the king of all Beaujolais.
So if you describe regions when you go into that, compared to what most people think about right away with California. So it's just like different towns. And
It's like different towns, but
Right.
these are not towns. These are actually classified areas
that they can grow those specific
that they
grapes.
can grow. It's all Gamay. I don't think I mentioned that, but
Okay.
all Beaujolais comes from Gamay grape.
All right.
But this Moulin Avant, which I just said is literally...
I can't say that, just for the record.
it took a little bit of practice.
Moulin what?
Moulin Avant.
Moulin Lavant.
Moulin, close, Rick.
I'm
That's
getting
very
there.
close. Moulin Avant.
See, Victor's going to be making fun of me next because then I'm going to try to say Spanish wines next. So this is going to be a fun, 30 minutes of the show.
No, I'm really going to confuse you because it's from the vineyard of Chateau de Jacques.
Okay.
But the wine...
The French don't like to confuse them.
No, they don't like to. They
Yeah.
just want us to
Yeah.
look like we can't say the wines. But all you have to say, in all honesty, is if you go to your wine merchant,
Right.
you want a Cru Beaujolais.
A Cru
Cru
Beaujolais.
Beaujolais, and you would prefer from Moulin Avant.
Okay.
Now I want you to taste it.
So I'm going to take pictures of these bottles and we'll have them up on Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff afterwards so people could physically see these because I got someone that gave me a nasty thing last week saying I couldn't see the wine. I'm sorry, I was drinking it.
We'll make sure you can see this wine. Now, you know how we always talk about the bouquet?
Yes.
You're going to get a literal bouquet from this wine because
Literal.
it smells like roses and violets.
Oh my God, she's not kidding. That's unbelievable.
And the beautiful little bit of minerality then you get, and these elegant, long-lasting tannins.
Oh my God, that is delicious. It lingers. It
And
lingers there.
Well, when you mention lingering, as we said, that you really wouldn't want to keep a Beaujolais Village for more than 1 or 2 years.
Okay.
You can literally age the best vintages from Moulin Avant up to 50 years.
50
Yes.
years.
I would cellar this wine for 10 to 20.
Really? And it's drinking beautiful
And it
now. And
drinks
it's only
beautiful
what,
right
a
now.
couple, 2-3 years old?
Well, it's actually, I pre-ordered this last year and it was just delivered in October.
Fantastic.
And we do, Chris and I get to barrel sample the Burgundies.
Oh, I love that. When you travel, if you ever get to the vineyards anywhere in the world, tell them you want a barrel sample. They take this thing, looks like a giant glass straw,
Like a
put
whiskey
it right
thing.
in, yeah, they pull it right in the barrel, pull out the wine right out of the barrel. It's one of the most wonderful experiences.
That's why Rick liked to run with us.
Yes, I do. Absolutely. So, besides these wines, I mean, and the selections that you guys have over there is absolutely amazing. From the perspective of knowledge, and it's something I wanted to get into, what would a tip be, or it could be a couple tips, what would some tips be that you would provide customers that are coming in? Because it's a thing where people feel scared almost about wine. It's like they know that they enjoy it, they know they love it, but they don't think there's always these new things to do. And I'm sure you guys have got new things arriving now for the spring as well, right?
We do, but my biggest advice to the consumer is don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid if you can't say Moulin Avant. Ask your wine merchant, to show me something new, show me something different, and they'll taste. We have tastings, we have tasting tables at both of our locations, and we are constantly opening wines. And if you really have a good wine merchant before you pay, then this is not an inexpensive bottle, I have to admit, Rick.
All right, so tell me how much this one is.
It's under 40.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
not break the bank, but it's under 40. It's something you want to sell, but have a good relationship with your wine merchant. I think that's
Absolutely.
the best advice I can give.
So beyond that, and I know that this is something that people are asking about from the education perspective as well, there's a lot of wine dinners in the restaurants, we've talked about some of those, different festivals that come up. You would encourage people to definitely attend these type of
Yes,
things,
anytime
right?
that you can taste, Chris will say this constantly, taste, taste, taste.
Right.
That's the best way to learn.
You don't want to be discouraged.
No, never. And you don't be intimidated. Wine's meant to be fun.
What would be some of the stuff, and I mean, other than the rosés that we talked about last week, what would be some of the wines that are new that are coming in? Because this is, people don't, it's tough for the average person to understand the seasonality of when the things come in, just like certain foods, it takes getting used to when the seasonality of foods
Right.
come in. So is there things that are new that are coming in
Well,
now?
as you just mentioned, the rosés are all released. The 2016s, all of what we call them pre-sales, but we actually pre-order the products, and they've all arrived. Pre-sale arrives tomorrow.
And what is that?
Antinori Tignanello was number 8 on Wine
It's like a
Spectator's
Super
Top
Tuscan, right?
100
Super
list
Tuscan, okay.
this year. So the 2014 arrives tomorrow.
So Super Tuscans are a blend of a variety of wines.
It's basically Sangiovese, but they have Cab and Merlot and a couple of other great varieties.
So my good friend Sherry, who you've met a couple times, Sherry, this is a wine you and I got to get because you and I drink Super Tuscans every time you're in my house. So we're going to have to get and look for that.
Well, it's very highly allocated, so get it. It will be gone by
Place
the
the
end.
orders. Sherry, make the call now while Sandy's here. All right, so we've covered some of those. We've covered the questions. The rosés. Last week I probably didn't do as justice of what you would say about the rosés that are out. What should people look for in a rosé? There's a lot of varieties, and there's a lot of different tastes.
There are a lot
in
of
rosé.
different tastes. Now, I prefer rosés from Provence, which is what you had the Peychaud and
Yep.
the Miraflores.
Yep, Miraflores was
Oh, wasn't that
delicious.
delicious? That Lafage is beautiful. Some of them have a little heavier, I like a little heavier taste, a little heavier viscosity in my Merlots.
Mhm.
Whispering Angel's another delightful Merlot that gets into a higher price point. But you also have Merlot that are made from Italian grapes. There's a lot of, and I believe your next guest, Victor Ordonez, may mention that there's some wonderful rosés coming out of Spain.
Excellent.
But in rosé, I look for price point. I mean, you've got rosés that go. We sell rosés from $11.99. I think my most expensive is $24.99. Once again, you don't have to break the bank.
So they're obviously a summer wine. They launch in the spring.
They used to be a summer wine launched in the spring, but they've become so popular that most of the producers now have the wines year round.
And the thing about rosés, and correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things that I've heard from people is it's kind of this step-up wine. Like they taste the wine, like if they're going from a certain wine that's sweeter, then they go to this. It's not as sweet.
It's not sweet. Rosés, the rosés from Provence, when we think of the spring issue rosés, these are not sweet wines. They're dry. They're passed over the skins to give them the color, but they don't have a tremendous amount of fruit.
So what does that mean? Talk about the passed over the skins.
They're just passed. They're not fermented with the skins.
Okay.
The juice is actually passed over the skins. And we'll save this for another episode, but Rick, we have a new wine, the orange wines, that are actually slightly fermented with the skins and the seeds. They're coming out of mostly Italian grapes that may replace the rosé.
This is why this is going to be fun once a month. We're going to probably have to go more than 10-15 minutes next time you come in, because there's going to be so much to talk about.
Oh, there always is with wine.
All right, so any other tips, suggestions you could think about that we should let people know for Easter?
For Easter, I do want to say that you've got some great Spanish wines that you're about to introduce with Victor Ordonez that will be in our stores this afternoon. This is a new portfolio of Jorge collections, and his son Victor is going to speak to you about those.
Fantastic. So Sandy, like I said earlier, and Chris have had these amazing connections around the world. I mean, Mario Puccini is talking about Super Tuscan. Is one of my favorite gentlemen in Italy. I visited his vineyard. I've stayed with his family, gone out. Wonderful, wonderful time. Yes. But this is one thing we hopefully can look forward to, is that having guests come in that Sandy's able to bring that are not normally things that we'd be able to book or have come with us. And something I want to give a preview now, because we've got 3 or 4 weeks, but I'm excited about, is I found out there's National Wine Day next month. There's a holiday for everything, but this one I think I'll be a little bit passionate about. So that is going to be at the end of May, so that's the week I want to bring you in again so that we can celebrate National Wine Day. And we'll cover a variety of things. We'll pick some different topics of what we feel would be good.
Instead of greeting cards, we'll exchange bottles.
Absolutely. I love that, National Wine Day. So, and I'm sure I'll be finding out more in the coming weeks about National Wine Day and forcing some people to celebrate it in the proper way. So thank you so much for joining me. It was awesome to have you here. I look forward to this being a once-a-month thing.
Thank you.
Eventually, we'll let Chris, if you're listening, eventually we'll let you join us. Eventually.
We need Chris's glass.
We need your glass. I mean, that glass is going to take up the whole table.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. So thank you so much. This has been fantastic.